Hello and welcome to another episode of Dream Home Cooking. Today I'm sharing my cheesy chicken enchilada recipe with you guys, as well as a delicious Mexican rice. And then I have a jalapeno popper dip recipe that is out of this world. Everything is super easy, everyday ingredients. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the chicken enchiladas first. I've got everything out that I need. This is what I love about this recipe, is the simplicity of it. You know, there's a million ways to make chicken enchiladas, but this one I find very simple and super delicious and satisfying. So what you want to start with is 2 cups of sour cream, and they are creamy, cheesy goodness. So I've got 2 cups of sour cream, and then a can of cream of chicken soup. I like to use a knife to make sure I get all of that out of there. All right, and then I'm gonna add my spices, my normal 1 teaspoon of salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. And I'm gonna use a fork to stir this up. And I cheated and got the rotisserie chickens. To me, that just makes my life so much easier. You just go buy a rotisserie chicken from the deli, from your grocery store deli. And of course I take the skin off and debone it, and I usually just use the chicken breast part of it for this recipe. And this is actually 2 rotisserie chickens, and I just use the breast and I just use the to pull the dark meat off and saved it for something else, soup or stews or what have you. So you want to get that mixed up, and then this is the chicken. It's equivalent to about 3 cups of cooked chicken. So you can certainly cook your own chicken, but I just think it's so much easier to do it this way. And the rotisserie chicken has a great flavor to it as well. So that just adds another level of flavor for you. So you just want to take a little elbow grease and get this all stirred. And then that was my oven. It makes a little poof sound. It's a gas oven. This is a cup of pepper jack cheese that I grated. This is one, to me, that's really hard to find in the grocery store that's already shredded. Okay, and then this is a 1.5 cups of the Mexican cheese blend that I just poured in here. So as you can see, this enchilada recipe lives up to its name, as it's called cheesy chicken enchiladas. They are very cheesy. Okay, so I am going to heat this skillet, because the next part of this is heating the tortillas. It's very, very important to heat your corn tortillas, because if you don't, they tend to tear and shred really easily as you're trying to stuff them and fold them, or roll them, I should say. So we want to get a nonstick skillet. I sprayed it with a little cooking spray. Then I've got just a little bit, like a teaspoon of vegetable oil, or you could use olive oil. I'm gonna let that heat, and I'm gonna put these in there 2 at a time. So I'm going to let this heat up a second. I'm gonna rearrange this a little bit so I have a better workspace to show y'all how I complete the process of putting these enchiladas together. Okay, so I rearranged everything a little bit, moved some things out of the way. I've got the filling here. I forgot to tell y'all I had a small can of green chilies that I also added in there. Okay, so here's the tortillas. I'm gonna use my hands. I'll wash them thoroughly. So I'm gonna pop them in the skillet. And you really can only do 2. I guess you could do 3 at a time. But you just want to just heat them through about 30 seconds on each side, and this wasn't really up to temp like it needs to be, about a medium high. And you'll see they kind of sizzle around the edges. And you can use flour tortillas for this recipe. I don't know what happened along the way the last probably 4 or 5 years, but Mike and I absolutely love corn tortillas instead. They are, to me, they taste more authentic, maybe, but you can certainly substitute the flour tortilla. And they have a little bit of oil on them, so that's why I like to place them on the paper towel and then let them cool just a second before I do the filling. Okay, so that's about all you need, and I'm just going to pop it here. And you kind of want to work fast. And then what I'm going to do is get 4 or 6 of them laid out here, put the filling in, roll them up, and then start over again, because you don't want them to sit too long after they've been in the skillet and get tough. So I'm going to cook a few more of these in the skillet, and then I'll show y'all the next step. Okay, so I've got 6 out, so I'm going to go ahead and just show y'all. I use a tablespoon, and you want to put a good heaping tablespoon onto the corn tortilla. I'll put a little more. And by the way, sometimes I will have leftover filling. I have frozen it before and then just thawed it and then just did a small little platter of enchiladas for Mike and I, and it freezes beautifully. And you don't have to fold them fancy, just roll them like that and then put them seam side down. And this recipe makes 16. Okay, so I'm gonna get these rolled up and then start on the next batch. Okay, so I'm doing the last two. And I've been pretty generous with the filling. And that's why my numbers change, because sometimes I'm afraid I'm gonna run out of filling and I don't fill them as much. Sometimes I put too much, so. But I'm anxious for y'all to try this recipe and let me know what you think, because it's really, really good. Okay, and then the next step is to cover this with foil, and I'm gonna bake it 25 minutes, and then I pull it out of the oven, add a little bit more of whatever cheese you like, whether it's Colby Jack, cheddar, Mexican cheese mixture, and then put it back in the oven another 5 minutes so the cheese melts, and then it's done. So we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna get this cleaned up, and when we come back, I'm gonna show you guys how I make this Mexican rice dish.
You know, years ago, we researched different cabinet companies. Wellborn was the cabinet company that we decided to go with. Wellborn has a lot of your custom style building like we did in the local cabinet shops years ago. You just can't go wrong with a product like that with Wellborn. On top of that, Wellborn has researchers that are out in the market every day. Their job is to see what's current in the market, what's selling, and what their dealers need to be showing in their showroom. So come out, let me help you design your kitchen with Wellborn products.
Hey guys, I wanted to let y'all know, about a year ago, me and Bruce Stone started a new company called Stonewood Homes. And Stonewood is a little different business plan than Woodland Homes, because Stonewood is a scattered lot home builder, which means if you have a lot and you're looking for a builder, Stonewood is the answer. So if you own a home site or you're looking at building a custom home, give us a call at 830-9000 and let's start building.
My father started this business in 1977. The people that work for us is part of what sets us apart. All of our employees have experience. All of our plumbers have been with us for 10 years or greater. Our motto at Dean & Son is quality and service. We're going to do quality work. We don't leave people hanging. We're there when we're supposed to be. We're done when we're supposed to be. Living up to what you sell and service them after they pay you, that's where your integrity in the plumbing business comes.
Dean & Son Plumbing Company. Call today at 518-9780.
Since 1983, individuals and businesses in Alabama have relied on Wolf, Jones, Wolf, Hancock, Daniel & South for their legal representation. Our experienced attorneys offer high-quality legal counsel in commercial law, real estate, and personal injury litigation. So if you need an attorney, hire the best attorney you can. Call the experienced North Alabama attorneys at Wolf, Jones, Wolf, Hancock, Daniel & South to arrange your initial consultation, because we're dedicated to setting the standard for legal services.
Okay, we're back, and now I want to show y'all how I make this delicious Mexican rice dish. Again, it's very simple, but very, very tasty. You want to start with 1 tablespoon of oil and 1 tablespoon of butter. And to that, I'm going to add 1 chopped onion, just a small onion. And then this is 2 ears of fresh corn that I just cut off the cob. And then I'm just going to saute these two together for about 6 or 7 minutes, or until it's browned. I need to turn the heat up. This is so good as a side dish with these enchiladas, and also it's one of those one-pot wonders that I call it, because it's so easy. Once I get all the ingredients in here, you just put the lid on, let it simmer until you're ready to eat, and it's just a beautiful, colorful, tasty rice dish. So I'm going to stir this for another 5 or 6 minutes, and then I'll show y'all the next step. Okay, so I've got this corn and onion sauteing for about 7 or so minutes. Now I'm going to add 2 cloves of fresh garlic. I'm going to use my hands to get the rest of that out of there. It's too good not to. Boy, when you add garlic to something sauteing and oil and butter, it just smells wonderful. Okay, so I got that, and now This is a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of pepper, and a teaspoon of cumin. Those are the spices for that. And then this is 2 cups of basmati rice. I'm just going to dump that in there. And basically what I'm doing is just browning this rice just a little bit, maybe just for a couple of minutes. And then I'm going to add the liquid in here and let it come to a boil. And then you put the lid on and just let it do its thing. Okay, so the rice has been in here for about a minute and a half and it's browning. It smells delicious. Now I'm going to add the liquid ingredients to it. I've got a can of chicken broth. And you may want to turn the heat down a little bit when you start adding this tomato-based things because it'll pop out on you. All right, and then this is a can of diced tomatoes, and we don't drain anything. And then a can of the original Rotel. And then I just stir it and bring this to a boil. And then it just simmers for about 30 minutes until the rice is cooked. I love this dish because, as you see, it's a one-pot wonder. It goes a long way. It feeds a lot of people, probably about 10 to 12 servings. And it goes deliciously with these enchiladas. But you could also, to change it up, grill some chicken. Sometimes I get in a rut with side dishes. And so I like to experiment with different things instead of chicken, green beans, mashed potatoes. You do some grilled chicken, maybe this dish. Just kind of mix it up. All right, so this is nice and mixed together very well. So now I'm just going to bring it to a boil and I'm going to watch it because I don't want it to boil too long. Soon as it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn it on as low as it goes and put the lid on it, and then about 30 to 40 minutes. The rice will be ready. You stir it real good, fluff it, and I sprinkle fresh cilantro over it too before I serve it. So I'm going to get this cleaned up, and I am going to get the ingredients for the jalapeno popper dip out and show y'all how I make that.
Choosing an appliance can be complicated these days. That's why at Bob Wallace Appliance, we start by asking questions like an occasional cook or a serious chef, something just for you, or an army, once a week or once a day. You see, it's not just what we know about appliances, it's what we know about you. Bob Wallace Appliance, locally owned and operated for more than 35 years. Online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? Is it a cool breeze on a scorching day? Or a cozy corner on a cold night? That every room of the house is as inviting as the next. And the air is fresh and clean for everyone. That humidity is where it belongs. At Carrier, comfort means more than just the temperature.
Hello, I'm Annette Hale of Annette Hale's Indoor Comfort Systems, the lady with a team you can trust. Visit us online at indoorcomforthsv.com.
When you select Wolde Flooring's hardwood, you don't just enhance your home, you transform it. With hundreds of beautiful, durable, hand-selected varieties that come with up to a 50-year warranty, you can count on unsurpassed beauty and proven durability that's guaranteed to stand the test of time. When you want the best flooring for your home, come to Wolde Flooring in Madison. WoldeFlooring.com, 256-325-8453.
Hey guys, come on in.
Hey Troy.
Yeah, let me show you around.
Wow.
You know, as the Acme Brick spokesperson, I get paid in brick. All the brick I want. Solid. What? Too much? To get Acme Brick quality, look for the Acme name. And here's the guest room. Hope you like a firm mattress.
Okay, now I've got everything out to make this jalapeno popper dip. I love making jalapeno poppers, and y'all know what I'm talking about. It's the jalapenos sliced lengthwise. You put the filling, cream cheese, bacon, whatever you want, wrap it. It just takes a lot of time. So this is the lazy way out, but it is so good. And you can eat it with Ritz crackers, tortilla chips, whatever you like. So I'm going to show y'all first. This is going to be the topping. This is 4 tablespoons of butter, and then I have a cup of panko breadcrumbs. So I'm just going to toast these a little bit in the butter. And like I said, this will be the topping. It just makes a nice little crunch. Okay, so I'll let that just kind of hang out in the butter, heating up while and I've got it on low because I don't want to burn that. Okay, so the next step, this is a block of cream cheese. That's 8 ounces of cream cheese, and then an 8-ounce container of sour cream. This is the star of the show. This is a 5-ounce can of chopped jalapeno peppers. Sometimes that little can is hard to find. You might have to chop them yourself, or just buy the ones, they have them in the jar on the jalapeno pepper aisle, or the condiment aisle. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the only seasoning I have in here is the garlic powder. And then I've got 8 slices of bacon that I chopped and then cooked. And I always save my bacon grease in a jar, stick it in the fridge for my beans because I think that makes them so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and start stirring. It already smells good. And you wanna make sure your cream cheese is at room temperature. Just take it out of the fridge a couple hours before, because if you don't, it's really hard to work with. Okay, so now I got the cream cheese nice and whipped. Okay, and then I've got 3/4 of a cup of grated Parmesan, and then about 1.5 cups of sharp cheddar. And then you just stir this. I'm looking around making sure I got all the ingredients. You stir this all together, and I'll show you guys the next step once I get this all incorporated really well, mixed together. Okay, you want to make sure you stir that for a good while. Make sure all those cheeses are nice and mixed well together. I'm going to come back over here to my topping. I bumped the heat on it just a little bit. And you just want to cook it for a few minutes, just until these panko crumbs brown just a little bit. Okay, so while that is still doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and turn this out into the dish. This is an 8x8 baking dish, and I sprayed it with cooking spray. And you really can just do big scoops. And then you'll have to press it down into the pan. And this goes great with the dishes that I've made today, the cheesy chicken enchiladas and the Mexican rice. Okay, so now I'm just gonna press it down into the pan, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. You just wanna make it to where it's even. All right, and then I'm gonna turn the heat off, and you can see how they're nice and toasty, and it just gives it a different kind of flavor when you do that. Now I have 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm just gonna throw in there off the heat. You wanna make sure you do it after the fact, because now I'm gonna pour it over the dip mixture. All right, and now I'm just gonna pop it all over that. And then just use your utensil, your spatula, what have you, and just kind of evenly spread those panko crumbs over the top of the dip. And then I'm going to sprinkle fresh cilantro on it and bake it at 350 for about 30 minutes. But before I do that, I want to tell you guys about our community of the week. Inspiration on Green Mountain, as well as the preserve on Green Mountain. And I tell you, it's been amazing to watch the growth over the last 5 years of these two communities. They're absolutely beautiful. So many beautiful floor plans up here, beautiful lots. Green Mountain in and of itself is just a really super special place with the nature trail, the land trust trail, and then we've got the lodge on Green Mountain, which houses a great facility for parties, wedding showers, what have you, a Olympic-sized swimming pool, a great gym, tennis courts, basketball courts, you name it. So I encourage you guys to just take a little trip, a little Sunday drive up to Green Mountain one weekend or during the week, anytime. We're open 7 days a week, and check out our model homes and just take a drive around the beautiful area of Green Mountain, especially this time of year with the fall. The leaves are absolutely stunning. It's just a beautiful sight to see just driving up that road. But anyway, when Mike is here, I know he'll talk more about those communities. But in the meantime, I need to get this jalapeno popper dip into the oven. It bakes at 350, I'm sorry. It bakes at 375 for about 30 minutes. Just watch it. And when we come back, we'll have Mike here to tell us more about the communities and to taste our little Mexican fiesta.
Okay, so we talked earlier about the bluffs. This is just going to be so special up here on top of the mountain. We're in the process of building our entrance, and my goal here is to really just build something that is just exclusive, build something that's just, worthy of a lot that has a $1 million view like these home sites do. So as you can see, beautiful, beautiful wooded home sites, and you can just literally just see for just miles and miles and miles and miles. So here's the thing. If you are looking for a beautiful bluff lot in Huntsville, there is no other competition there's just nothing else available other than what we have here at the Bluffs. It's just really, really special. So we're building, not only are we building on the bluff, we do have home sites across the street from the Bluffs. And those home sites, we can build either crawl space, but if you ever wanted a basement, a lot of people want a basement because tornadoes are in Huntsville. We also have the ability and have some basement home sites available as well. So one street, cul-de-sac, consists of about 30 beautiful home sites. And then you have the sidewalk system that also connects to the lodge, which the lodge is a multi-million-dollar amenity package with a beautiful swimming pool, tennis courts, basketball courts, a nice gathering center. So when you're looking for communities to invest in and live in, and you're just not going to be able to find anything that will compare to what's being built up here on top of Green Mountain. But really, if you have any interest at all, it's a beautiful time of year, this time of year, because all the leaves are off the trees, and you can really be able to pick out the perfect home site for yourself. But the best thing to do is just right up here on top of the mountain and just check it out firsthand. So we'd love to see you up here on top of the mountain.
If you're looking to remodel or build your dream home, it all starts at the Dream Studio by Woodland Homes. At Woodland Homes Dream Studio, you'll work with seasoned professionals dedicated to providing you with the very best, whether you're starting from scratch or remodeling. And with thousands of selections to choose from, the Dream Studio offers everything you need at the absolute highest quality, all under one roof. The Dream Studio by Woodland Homes. Live your dream. Call 830-9000 today.
Okay, we're back, and as per usual, I got my taster. I don't know what I'd do without you, honey.
I don't know what I'd do without you either, baby.
So I made some of my cheesy chicken enchiladas. I know you love those. Yep. Delicious Mexican rice dish, and then this is fairly new. This is, you know how I make the jalapeno poppers where you wrap the bacon? Yeah. Well, this is like that, but in a dip, so it's a lot easier. So it's jalapeno popper dip. And that's all I got.
It looks awesome.
Thank you. It smells
awesome.
good. I'm starving, and we've got both of our kids here today. They're doing some work with us, and so I'm excited to have our little family. We're just missing
Mexican
our son-in-law.
feast. A Mexican family feast.
Yep. Yeah. So I was telling viewers our community of the week is Inspiration and the Preserve on Green Mountain, and it's just such a treasure on Green Mountain. Yeah. I feel like.
Well, it's actually more than just Inspiration and the Preserve.
Yeah.
Those are two great communities, and but we also have the Bluffs. Mm-hmm. The Bluffs on Green Mountain is geared more toward a really probably $1 million house community and up. Some of the prettiest bluff view lots are available in the Bluffs,
right,
anywhere in town. And so, you know, when you're looking at where to build a really high-end house, there's really not that many options in Huntsville.
Right.
So the Bluffs would be a perfect fit. And then, you know, our other communities are, you know, less expensive than that. But also, I want to tell the viewers, most all of our Bluff home sites are on the east side. But we just acquired a piece of property and we're calling it Sunset. And the reason why we're calling it Sunset is we bought a piece of property that's on the west-hand side of the mountain that's got gorgeous, gorgeous views of South Huntsville, of the river, that is just absolutely gorgeous. And even though you go to Sunset, and even though it's not in like inside of one of our communities like Inspiration or the Preserve, you still get all the amenities and that we offer up here on the mountain. So you've got, you know, the lodge, you've got a beautiful, huge swimming pool, you've got a great outdoor kitchen with an artesian grill next to it as well, basketball, tennis courts, weight room. I mean, up here on top of the mountain, if y'all have not come up here to look, I mean, you really have it all. And right now we're in the middle of November. This may air at different times throughout the year. But when you're looking at just the gorgeous views, just the beautiful trees and the color that we've got this time of year, I mean, this time of year, every time I go outside, I'm like,
I know.
There's no better place in Huntsville than Green Mountain.
Especially that drive up Green Mountain Road. This time of year, there's this canopy of trees, and it is the most vibrant.
It's
just
beautiful.
All these different colors. So yeah, I love it.
But
it's worth the drive.
It is. But in order for you to really get a visual, we just encourage our viewers who are interested in a new home to come out and look and check out Green Mountain. We've got a couple of different models. We've got 4 or 5 different communities up here that you can choose from. And it starts by logging onto our website, woodlandhomes.com. You can check out and see what plans we have to offer. You can get community info. You can look at lodge pictures and just look at the whole ball of wax. And for Melissa's recipes, you can also...
Yep, you can find those on woodlandhomes.com as well as our Dream Home Cooking Facebook page.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we appreciate our sponsors. Without them, this show would not be possible. So we just encourage you to take a trip, drive up to Green Mountain. Our models are open, or give us a call at 830-9000. So y'all come and see us.
All right, let's eat.
Let's do it.